Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another review for Real Housewives of Atlanta. It is Monday morning. As you can see, I have gotten up, I have gotten refreshed. I am giving you golden Betty Wright sunshine, darling. Golden Betty Wright sunshine. Get into it. I was like, I am over t-shirts, I'm over tank tops, I'm over loungewear, I'm over the boyfriend gin, okay? I'm over it. I need some crop tops in my life. Okay, I need some tube tops. Give me old nasty low deep V-neck. I am here for it. Especially since we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, which is should be called the Titty Meat Reunion. Because we are overrun with titty meat. I said that in my last review for Real Housewives Season 12 Reunion Part 1, and Part 2 is no different. I will say that Part 2, I didn't have as much enthusiasm. One, I'm coming to the end of really caring, of really going over things, of there really being no resolve. Even if it's fake resolve, like we don't really get a lot of resolve. And it's just weird. And it's daunting. It's exhausting. Like the constant refusing to accept accountability, dear sweet Kenya, and just the constant temper tantrums, NeNe. Cynthia is like a lukewarm. You know what Cynthia is like? And I find when I'm watching her now, I count on my face is if you ever let a Coke sit out or a Pepsi overnight when it's lost all its fizz, it's just the caramel syrup, the caramel syrup. It's warm. It's just syrup. It's sweet. It's just no fizz, no chill, no nothing. It's just woo, syrupy, sweet, warm puke in your mouth. Like it is infuriating. It kind of teed me off a little bit too that Bravo didn't play a lot of her clips. You know, the clips where they be talking in the confessional. They didn't play a lot of her confessionals when she was saying that Kenya was going too far here and there. They wasn't really playing that. So in my opinion, Bravo kind of played up the alliances for the benefit of the shows, surely for reviews and of course, if you can divide the cash and then you divide the viewers in a sense, there's a very small portion of us that is completely and utterly neutral with all parties involved except for me and Tanya. I love Tanya. I will go down with Tanya, and I will definitely go down with Portia. Portia still remains in episode 2 of the reunion. She still remains my MVP. I'm sorry, Portia handled herself beautifully, but we will talk about that. So let's just get into it. Kenya. I can't with the whole Kenya situation. I can't now. Last week you said you and Mark was working it out. This is what these people who in domestic situations, whether it's verbal or violent, a lot of these um, individuals who are in these situations will pull you in and out of it. They you know what I'm saying, they come, they're terrified, they're upset, they're afraid, and then they go back into it. So that's how I was feeling about her last week. That's why I'm like, you don't come to me, you don't come talk to me about your situation until you ready to bury the body. If you're not ready to bury the body, don't come to me. Don't come to me because your girl specializes in burying the bodies. But now this week, she's when NeNe made a reference about Mark cheating on her, and she was like, well, we're separated. He's free to do whatever he wants to do. Why are you in counseling then? I don't get it. I really, really don't. Like, it's weird to me. Excuse me. It's definitely odd to me that you come out your mouth with that, but you stay kind of in this calculating place. I call her Kenya the calculator, baby, because um you can just see that everything she does is for production, for shock value. I do think that a lot of it, excuse me, is who she is. I think because of how she grew up, Kenya is vicious. Coming from the pageant circuitry, I think that's right, pageant circuit. I think she is manipulative, and she has a great eye for other people's weaknesses, or points of weakness. I think she learned from the Donald Trump school of life, where you take no accountability, you never accept responsibility, you never show attrition. You keep your sympathy and your empathy on the frayed edges, so it can just look a lot better than what it really is, when deep down inside you could care less. Like, you could really care less if you hurt Tanya, or if you ruin Marlo's event. Like, they're of so little importance to you, that who cares? Why would I apologize? Who are they that I would apologize? I also want to say that I found that a lot of Kenya's rhetoric in this season two, I mean, in this part two of season 12 reunion, was problematic. I really do. When she came out of her mouth with ugly, now y'all know I don't call people ugly, because I was called ugly as a child. I was considered an ugly child because I wasn't fair skinned. Now people now tell me that I am of the lighter hue. I'm paper sack brown. I stand by that. Y'all see the color of my hands, and the color of my face, and the color of my neck. I'm far from being light skinned, but as a child, without all the accoutrements, people felt like I was an ugly one in comparison to my sister. So that is the reason why I do not use the word ugly, calling people ugly. I don't call people ugly. I don't do it. I don't care for that. When she said the ugly girls are always coming from the pretty girls, I wanted Andy to say, or anybody for that matter, what makes them ugly? Like, what do you consider about them to be ugly? Because if you're talking about the heart and the intent and the actions, then you, my dear, do not sit in a place of pretty. FYI, you do not sit in a place of pretty, Kenya. Okay? I didn't like that. I didn't like her saying that, why was Greg messing with help? And then she knew not to say then she said help. And then when she got into it a little bit more with NeNe, she said the help. And I'm like, the help? The help? What? The help. You see what I'm saying when I say she's got a sort of Trumpian type of way of handling business, doing business, interacting, dealing with. These are people who had very little nurturing. Like, you don't even feel remotely bad. Remotely bad. You can tell a person that wasn't hugged a lot, or told that they were loved a lot, or shown a lot of love. You can just see it. You can just tell, you know. And it just makes her seem to me to be very puny and very small. But let us continue on, shall we? I want to look at my notes here. Yeah, so no accountability. I love the fact that Portia kept calling Kenya out on her lack of accountability. Like, she kept zinging her. I'm telling y'all, Portia is by far my MVP. I just love her in this reunion, and we're gonna talk about it. But anyway, and Kenya's a huge deflector. I think a lot of the rhetoric that Cynthia spits, I think it comes directly out of Kenya's mouth. I do feel like Kenya and Candy seem to have the type of relationship that is all about business. I think they are working together to push narratives and to push views. I personally have said several times, I feel like with Todd having this production background and Candy having this tremendous business sense about, and you know, she's heavy on social media. She's got her finger on the pulse of what's going on. And so I do think Candy moves around a lot behind the scenes. I think her and Todd do. Well, we're going to talk about that. She's a huge deflector, and I feel like Candy and NeNe and Cynthia are on board with that because it's kind of like a formula for success on reality TV. Okay, so then let's talk about NeNe. NeNe is Kenya's twin in the sense that they both love the spotlight. They both love to act indignant. They both love not taking accountability. And instead of saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong for what I said, but what about what you said when you said this? The difference between the two is that NeNe specializes in stunts and shows and temper tantrums. She loves to throw temper tantrums. Excuse me, guys. She absolutely loves to throw temper tantrums. And that whole thing where she kept putting her keyboard, her screen down towards her keyboard, I absolutely cannot wait for the screenshots of what her notes were saying. Because, you know, somebody got them screenshots of them notes just like folks got done probably went out there and pulled that police report for the donor and evil. But we gonna talk about that too. So I don't know, and I am over the volume. I'm over the volume and the over talking. One of the reasons why I love the virtual reunion is because you are able to mute, and people are able to give their viewpoint without being over talked, and without it making the entire cast uncomfortable. But, you know, I say don't raise your voice, NeNe. Improve your argument. Don't storm out of the room. Improve your argument, honey. Don't slam your keyboard down and keep doing these stunts and shows. These stunts and shows make you look small. They don't uplift you. They don't show you as professional. They don't show you as an adult, as a mature adult, able to have mature adult conversation. Now, this is something that you could probably talk to your therapist about helping you work on the way that you communicate, my dear. Because one of the reasons why, in my opinion, Kenya one-ups you 85% of the time is because she is able to stay calm. Now, she does rah-rah. I'm not saying she doesn't. But a good percent of the time, Kenya is able to just continue to deflect, and you just get hotter and madder up under the collar. And please don't let alcohol be involved, my dear, and you will definitely go to the very end of the edge of too far, baby, and dangle your feet over the side, my dear. And so yeah, she one ups you 85% of the time because you are not able to control your emotions. You specialize in temper tantrums. These are the same temper tantrums that you were throwing with Greg because he had cancer, and because he didn't have time for you, and because his penis wasn't fully functioning when you are at the height, at the prime of your sexual peak. Same temper tantrums. Why Greg got to have cancer and I don't get all the spotlight? Greg's not able to wait on me hand and foot. You know, it's bad look, NeNe. You had a bad look this entire part 2. Let's talk about Candy. I think Candy is very calculating as well. I'll go back to what I was saying. I do believe that Candy operates from a standpoint of business. I don't think she operates with these ladies from a emotional, we're very close. She might go to their events. For me, it's nothing more than to see what they look like, how it turned out, what it is, you know, that type of thing. collecting data, bones that she can carry back and forth, shade that she can carry back and forth. She's over here asking pointed questions and gathering the answer, and then she's tucking it away into her cheeks and scurrying over to the other party and regurgitating it all out, and then getting their information and then taking it back over. My mama say any dog that take a bone or carry a bone. Okay, but she does it for business purposes. It is to drive a storyline. It is to anchor herself. It is to create interest. This is something that she and her husband specialize in. I do not think there's anything wrong with them operating in this way. I think couples should, in business, in life, in social settings. I think a plan of action, I think being able to execute a plan, being on the same page, having the same goals and ambitions, all of those things are copacetic. My issue is that then you try to turn around and play in our faces and make it seem like you didn't have an opinion on the Tanya situation because Tanya doesn't need to be saved, and you weren't there. You weren't there for a lot of stuff that you weighed in on. You went heavy and hard on Portia about making up with NeNe in the way that she did, and all she was doing was driving her own storyline. All she was doing was feeding the beast its portion. They wanted to see a Portia and NeNe makeup or breakup or interaction or whatever, and she gave it to him, and she gave him drama, and it seems like you had a problem with that. It seems like you had an issue with that, and it was a much milder situation than you weighing in on the cookie lady situation. And on top of that, I don't know why Bravo during the reunion didn't show some of the confessionals when you were saying, oh, Kenya was going too far. Like, I didn't get that. Seems like to me you were kind of playing dodo, especially in Canada at that table. And then you just have no opinion about just how it all evolved. You had no opinion about them talking with the lady and then going to Canada and then the cookie lady show. Like, you had nothing to say about any of that. It's not even about taking up for Tanya. It's just about weighing in, sis. You weighed in on everything. Not just now, throughout the seasons. Candy is a huge instigator. She's an information collector. She finds a way to use it to her advantage. I told y'all a long time ago, Candy reminds me of the kind of person that would make, in high school or middle school, would make friends with you to copy off your homework. You know what I'm saying? It's not that she your friend, she just needs your homework. It's not that she think you smart, she just think you dumb enough to share it with her and she don't have to do the work. I stand by that. I stand by it. I'm not saying Candy's not nice. I'm not saying she's not a decent person. All I'm saying is she got her ways. She got her ways. And most of the time, it's to benefit her. It's to benefit her bottom line. Okay? This relationship she got with Kenya, I really personally feel like it's a business relationship. For her, it's probably more productive and more financially savvy to be in alliance with Kenya, to have Eva continually dropping and throwing shade, to have Cynthia as a constant amen person. Like, it's a benefit to her. Why would she go into settings and situations where people are going to constantly be calling her out or constantly be saying, why would you go say that? Like, no. This is my opinion. And she a lot like her mama. Like, that whole Mama Joyce situation was so brief and so temporary. Now all of a sudden they're all fine and they're saying it's because Blaze was born and Mama Joyce just let it all go. No, Mama Joyce did her part. Mama Joyce came to collect the check. Mama Joyce came in and blew a little dust in the air and made it slightly cloudy, and we all thought it was a storm. But it wasn't. It was more calculating storyline. Okay? And I'm just really going point by point and just kind of trying to break these girls down because I just feel like Emotions about the situation are all over the place. We all know there's everyone has storylines, excuse me, whether they are valid or invalid or made up or trumped up or contrived. That's a given. That's understood. We don't have to go over these storylines. What this person did was messed up. What that person did was messed up. Not weighing in was messed up. Weighing in too much was messed up. We got all that. We just talking about these little personalities, these little idiosyncrasies that either make the show shine or they weigh the show down. And in my opinion, um, Kenya, not Kenya, Cynthia weighs the show down. I don't think we need Cynthia next season. I don't. I don't. And honestly, unless you're bringing Phaedra back, I don't see the reason why we would keep Candy. Honestly, if you're not gonna bring Phaedra back, why would you keep Candy? Um, I would love to see these girls all cylinders without NeNe. That brief little moment where I think Cynthia went over to NeNe's shop. I think it was Cynthia. And Portia came over in the truck and NeNe and Cynthia came outside and it was girl, 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 girl. Like, I wish we could get that. I wish we could get that back, but that's not going to happen. Um, let's just talk about Cynthia now. Like I said, Cynthia was so lukewarm. She has a really needy way about her too. It's almost like I can't mess up with these girls, and then these girls won't invite me to their birthday party. Um, it's just let your yay be yay, let your nay be nay. You know what I'm saying? You're neither hot nor warm. I will spew you out of my mouth. This is the Bible say. This is the Bible. Like, you don't have to pick a side on everything, but just pick the side of right and just be okay with that. Like, your girlfriends gotta know you. If they good girlfriends, they gotta know that it's some things you not finna go for. You not finna co-sign on. And that's just what it is. Like, girl, you was doing way too much. You made yourself look bad. And you made me look bad. I'm not down for it. Next time you pull these antics, sis, I'm gonna be exit stage left. You're not gonna pull my good name down. But no, we don't get any of that from Cynthia. A lot of it too, I think, has to do with her being with Mike Hill. I think Cynthia is trying to position herself. I think she's required to position herself. Mike Hill is the kind of individual, he's not gonna let her fly free in the wind. He's not. He's trying to brand himself as a host, as a is it sports that he does? I think it's Mike and Donnie or something like that is his show where he does sports commentary and that type of thing. He's trying to brand himself. He's trying to solidify himself, and he's going to, much like what's old boy, the one that went from Regis and Kelly Ripper. It used to be Kelly Ripper, and what was his name? He fine, but he got a gap in his mouth, and he was married to that tramp that was caught with Layla Rashawn's husband. He wasn't married to her. He just mismarried her. He was engaged with her for a long time. And I think when he realized how hot the pants she was, how ghetto she was, really, he let her go. Anyway, I think it's more that situation where there's an image, you are expected to carry yourself in a certain way, and I think that's one of the things that she's doing. Another reason why I think she need to branch off and do her own thing. Or just be a friend of the show and we see her here and there. I don't see why we need to see her all the time. I would love to see a lesbian housewife. I've said that a million times before. Why not? Let's see what those inside of those households look like. Let's see what those relationships look like. Let's see what jealousy looks like in that situation. Owner's business ownership and that type of thing. I mean, this thing could be interesting. This thing could be interesting if we allow it to be. But just trying to hold on to some of this dead weight. Cynthia, to me, is dead weight. Tanya, kudos. I have zero bad to say about Tanya. I think Tanya held her own beautifully. She handled herself beautifully. She is not corny. She's just not ratchet. She just not alley. You know what I'm saying? She not ghetto. She not common. And a lot of people find that to be corny or boring or lame. And a lot of people are uncomfortable with that because they themselves cannot necessarily achieve that level of happiness and joy in their life where they just seem so full of joy in life. It's not a problem, you guys. You guys are just jaded. Marlo, I still say kudos to Marlo, I love that hair. I did get a real good look at that dress. I thought those heavy fabric sleeves was an issue. I would have loved to see way more of her beautiful brown skin. I think with that hair and that white dress, it would have those beautiful arms. A little bronzing would have been just really, really pretty on Marlo. I love the fact that Marlo was not stunting, that she seemed a lot more authentic to me in the reunion than she did in past seasons. And that's just my opinion. Um, let's see. Eva. Eva to me is lackluster. She is essentially the sound effects for the reunion. Oh, ooh, oh, oh, oh my goodness. Oh, she was just constantly just face, just oh, oh, what? Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, I was like, girl, what are you, the sound effect machine for the reunion? She took her moment. They brought up the donor. She got to talk a little bit about some abusive things that went on in their relationship, how she felt about being abused, and how she was able to get out of it. Like I said, you know how the internet is. They have already pulled them police reports up, baby, and we're going to see. I promise you, give it by the end of this week, Thursday, you're going to see. You're going to see the police report pulled up. I promise you. Um, you know, why do we need to continue to need Eva? Why? I like I said, I think Eva would do good branching off on her own, doing her own show, maybe a lifestyle show, maybe a fashion show. I'd like to see her do some Project Runway type things, or what's the design show? That is Project Runway, right? Yeah. Okay. I'd like to see her do some stuff like that. Like, I would love to see Eva in that capacity. In makeup, hair, styling. I would love to see Eva in that capacity. Here, she just continues to come off as a mean girl. A mean girl. And the fact that you and Cynthia have completely co-signed on Kenya, I don't know. It just says a lot about you. It says a lot about you. The way that um, being friends with Donald Trump says a lot about, or looking like they friends with Donald Trump says a lot about the people around him. Mike Pence, Mitch McConnell. Like, why would you get the stink of that person on you? Why wouldn't you clearly not want the line marked in the sand between you and that individual? No, you sign up as the co-signer. Now, my MVP for this entire part two, once again, is Portia. People were saying Portia was drunk and she was out of control. Now, I don't know because this has been edited. So maybe what we saw last week happened more towards the end and she was a little buzzed. I didn't think she was particularly that drunk. I thought if she was drinking, she was at that buzz phase where to me, she was the music and she was fun. you know. In this part two, what we saw was Portia being clear and concise. She did breeze over the fact that I think there was a lot of conversation going on in that text between Kenya and Portia. And some of the conversation may have been about Eva, or Eva in conjunction with Cynthia. And she was taking it as though maybe what Kenya was saying, she was rolling all of the girls, both of the girls, Eva and Cynthia, up in the shade, in the read, and that type of thing. I think it's something you can easily misconstrue. I think that Kenya did have something to say about Cynthia. Was it as egregious? It doesn't appear to be so. Um, I think it was a lot of conversation had, and I do think that there was some things said. I do. I just don't think that they were as egregious as Portia made them out to be. Nonetheless, we don't even need that though, do we? All we need to do, and Bravo did it, was run all of the clips from where Kenya repeatedly, one thing after another, kept trying to belittle and dismiss and diminish Cynthia, because Cynthia is the welcome mat. She's the one you can clean your feet on. You know, she is not going to be confrontational. She's not going to go back and forth with you at the table. She may say one or two things and then walk off. I also think there's a lot of stuff that Kenya knows that Cynthia has said, and she just doesn't want to get into the spilling of all of that tea. But Portia kept calling it out. Portia kept that whole little segment where she was like, questions from Portia in Atlanta. Oh my gosh. I really, really loved that. I thought that was so much fun. I thought that was so cute. I thought it was so unique. I say again, I really feel like Tanya and Portia could do a show that would be hilarious. I think it would be hilarious. I would love to see them do something like babysit my kids, or maybe do this job. How hard could it be type jobs where they go in and do the job. Y'all know Paris Hilton and Lionel Richie daughter, Nicole Richie, did something like that. I wouldn't mind seeing them do a road trip, just seeing sights and sounds and talking to people across Americana, although that would be hard now. But something like that I think would be fun. Even going and doing, restaurant visits. I could just see interaction and them doing fun little things that's entertaining, in my opinion. I'm just saying, y'all tell me what y'all think. I wouldn't even mind seeing like a little podcast type show with them on it, just their interaction on different topics and stuff. I think would be cool. I think it would be fun. I think it would be uplifting. But yeah, that is the season 12 reunion part 2. I like I said, Portia's my MVP. I don't know. I think I was most disappointed this episode in Kandi, just because a lot of that excuse making that she does, you kind of see it in Kenya too, where they always got this comeback. Like that comeback she gave Tanya about you don't need to be rescued. I'm just like, you didn't need to be rescued. You didn't need to be rescued against Portia and Phaedra, or that whole storyline. Nobody believed you had a dungeon. And anyway, we living in a day and time where people have dungeons and go into dungeons and pay to go into dungeons and take 3 other people with them so they can have sex in the dungeon. They are part of a whole dungeon. Like, I guess the whole date, rape, that type of thing. But did you need to be saved? Who were you trying to save, or who? I mean, with the whole Portia, NeNe, and why did you apologize? Like, I wouldn't even answer her questions about that. You don't question me. To me, Kandi was my least favorite. Now, I will have to say that her outfit turned out to be one of my favorites. I really liked Cynthia's outfit on second glance, and I really liked Kandi's outfit on second glance. I like that little shoulder and the flowered shoulder. It was giving me a little Dominique Devereaux. And I have to say, I did like her makeup. Especially since she did it herself. I liked it. I thought it was cute. Kenya and them problematic remarks, I'm telling you. I am telling you. The girl, She may have had that whole conversation trying to gather either about the comment about nappy hair, but that ugly comment and that the help comment, I'm telling you, it's a little elitist. It's a little elitist, and it's belittling. And it gives me the impression that she considers people who work for you beneath. I would love to know what she meant when she said the ugly girls. What makes them ugly? I would love to hear her response to that. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that rhetoric. Y'all tell me what you think about NeNe's temper tantrums. What do y'all think about Kandi and how she moves? You know, I have said this for a while. I believe Kandi operates under a business mindset at all times in terms of who she's befriends, aligns herself with, works with, in terms of who she supports, whether it's her physical presence or I think all of it has business purpose. And that's just my opinion. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Put it down below. Until next time, honeybees. I'll holla.